Hi guys, welcome to Honest, Straightforward Reviews, where you get unbiased and unfunded reviews. Hi guys, we'll be testing the brand new iMac 2020 with the nano-texture glass and the 5700 XT. I've got the specs of the computer's capabilities here. Alright, I've got a detailed version of this at the end of this video as well. If you want to look at that, you can most certainly check out what the frame rates are, where the drops are, and exactly a complete view of this test. This is the shortened result version. Okay, so let's get this test underway. Now, first of all, we'll be running the Unigine Heaven benchmark on this computer, which is most people run it, and in the end I'll be discussing the results as well. So we're just loading the screen at the moment. Okay, so it's started. Now what I've done is I've put it at 1440p for this test, and it's at max everything. So some of the tests you'll see have a bit of a better score, but they haven't got max for everything. They have for something, but they haven't done it for everything else. So you'll see it scoring really well, 1355. That's really high. That's really impressive as well. And a max frame rate of 105. It does dip quite a bit as well at 8, but that's saying that it's at max everything. I'm pretty impressed with this graphic card for gaming capabilities. Okay, so let's move on to the next test, which is the 3D Mark benchmark, which is, I think, more appropriate for gaming anyways. So let's get it underway. And I'm really interested in the score that we get for this. So 7572, that's just 2.5 over the MacBook Pro, or the MacBook Pro that I tested with the HBM2 memory. That scored just above 5, so that's really good. Let's have a detailed look as well. So there you go, 50 frames per second. That's pretty good in any computer at the moment. And it's got the i9 processor as well. I've got 16 gigs of RAM. Some people might say it's not enough, but I think for gaming that's perfect. And especially if you get the iMac with the 8 gig and then upgrade a 16 gig kit, you've got 24 gigs. Alright, let's move on to the next game, which is Fortnite. Alright, so I've got it at 144 frames per second, and let's go through, and it's at 1440p, and it's at max everything. It's epic. And I've reduced the resolution though. I've reduced it at about 50. At about 50 you can constantly hit 144 frames per second. I think for gaming 144p with 144 Hz display is really good. I really like it. Let me know in the comments if you'd like a video on that as to why I prefer that for gaming. Why not 4K with something like that, and why not a higher refresh rate of 240 Hz, you know? And I'll be making one. So this is, as you guys can probably guys can't tell because it'll be playing at 60 frames per second for you guys, but for me it was so smooth playing this game at 144 Hz. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so I think I can hear someone outside. I need to get a gun, drink that thing. And okay, they're there. I think they're here somewhere. Okay, okay. Oh crap. Okay, I'm dead. I'm not good at this game. What am I doing? I think I'm gonna die. All right, I'm getting shot from multiple angles. Anyways, let's move on to our next test, which is Terminator Resistance. Okay, so I've got it at 1080 for this, and I've reduced the resolution at about 95. I've got VSync. I never have VSync on for gaming, and let's have everything epic. Okay, let's see how we go. All right, so 130-ish, 120, 130-ish. That's pretty impressive. I'm happy with that. you know, and anything above 120 for gaming I think is really good. Like it's really smooth, you can enjoy your gaming as well. So let me reduce this a little bit more and see how we go. Yeah, so it's a bit higher now, 130, above 130, nearly 140. So that's really impressive, guys. I'm really impressed with this card, you know. It's a 16 gig VRAM card. That is really good, you know. Okay, here you go. All right, let's move on to the next test, which is the Total War Warhammer 2. And I've set everything as absolute highest. Maybe I should have tested this with DirectX 12, but let's give this a look, and I'll be reducing to 1080p. Let's see what frame rate I'll be getting. Okay, just at the loading screen now. Alright, so 30. Now, for a game like this, you want the game to look good. It's not a first-person shooter. There's not a lot happening on the screen. There's not a lot of attacks happening. So for games like this, I think 60 is the highest you should set it at, frames per second. And with this graphic card, just playing around a little bit, I can get 60 very, very easily. One of those settings that I put it to extreme, that really is pushing the graphic card. So if I push that down, so there you go, 37 is really good for this graphic card. I'm happy with 37 average for this game and this graphic card at max everything. Okay, let's move on to Resident Evil. Now I've set Resident Evil at max as well, all the settings at max. Let's see what kind of frame rates we'll be getting for this game. Okay, so everything's at high. All right, let's go into the game, and right, so you get about 70 frames per second, and it goes up to 100 a few times as well, depending on where you are and what's happening. Let's get this game outside and see how it's doing outside, where there's a lot more happening, the fire in the background and things like that. Okay, let me get this zombie out of the way. Not really good with games, so I've just wasted 2 ammos, 2 bullets. Alright, he's down. I'm gonna stay away from that, because in Resident Evil games, the old one, the original, I remember passing those monsters, they wake up again. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's take her next to the fire with the fire background and see how the graphics do with the fire in the background. There you go. That's pretty good. Let's move on to the next one. Now, this is Mad Max, and I'll be absolutely maxing everything out. I'm playing on an external monitor, as you guys can see. Other than the benchmarks, I've played all the games on an external monitor to give you guys a good view of what I can do. So this is maxed everything. Everything is maxed out to the highest. Let's give this game a load and see how we go. Alright, so as you guys can see, the frame rates are really good. That's maxed, everything absolutely maxed out. It's 144 Hertz you're getting at. So I'm really happy with that, and it's really stable. Now, 8 gigs I wouldn't recommend for gaming, because I played Mad Max with 8 gigs that it came with originally, and there would be a lot of dips. So when there's loading and things like that, the 144 would dip down to 95 and back to 144 and that. Whereas as you guys can see, it's really smooth with 16 gigs. So I think for gaming, 16 gigs is well and good enough. And like I said, if you add 16 gig on top of 8, you end up with 24, which is more than plenty for gaming and most tasks as well. Alright guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate that. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye.